The Law of Mind in Action by Fenwick L. Holmes. Man, master on the planet. The secret of man's mastery. This is in truth the great secret, but no mystery, of man's mastery over all conditions. When he comes to realize his spiritual nature, his kinship and unity with God, and acts with reason and convinced faith upon his knowledge, he has mastered the problem of life and destiny. So Jesus mastered it, and so are many men and women today learning how to control destiny. It is all here, God, eternal spirit, acting through the power of thought upon a spiritual universe to create and recreate. Man in nature, mind and being like God, acting in like manner upon a spiritual creation, plastic to his mind, securing similar results in body, mind and estate. Let us then realize that we are sons and daughters of God, and so realizing secure all the benefits of this relationship. Remember that apart from him, we can do nothing, but that with God, all things are possible. This then is the supreme thought for us to realize. I live in his eternal life and know his life is mine. We thus see that we live in a spiritual universe, and that man himself is in essence and nature a spiritual being fashioned in the image and likeness of God and sharing his attributes. As such a being, he himself can dominate what we call physical forces and energies, for God gave him dominion. In no essential is this more true than in relation to the physical organism which we call our body. It is immediately in the control of the inner principle of life which we call ourself. We have too long spoken of ourselves as weak human flesh, creatures of the dust, doomed to decay, and kindred destructive names. As we eventually become what we think, we have indeed manifested all the weaknesses to which we are willing to make our flesh heirs. But it ought not to be so, and the way to change our condition is to immediately change our thought. You would say, my body rules me. This leg tells me it cannot walk. This hand tells me it cannot write. This ear tells me it cannot hear. I must do what my leg and hand and ear tell me. Shall you yield organ by organ to what you think that organ tells you until you become like the man whom Bishop Sabin wrote that he claimed to have lost the use of both lungs and had to breathe through his stomach? Or will you not rather say, I manifest physically what I am mentally. I therefore, the true self, do now say to you, leg walk, arm right, ear listen. Your pain is not in your leg, but in your mind. Your deafness is not in your ear, but in your thought. And when the thought has been completely changed, you will find that there is no pain at all. It is indeed all a matter of consciousness. If God made a perfect creation, he did not make a pain in it. It is inconceivable that in wanton caprice he should have said, here is a foot, I will put a pain in that. Here is an arm, I will paralyze that. Here is a good man, but I will just double up his body with rheumatism. Did God do that? Certainly not. And if he did not, who did? Wrong thinking did. Reversing our thought. But does this not reverse the accepted philosophy of the race and its interpretation of human experiences? I hoped so. For who would wish to continue in an old thought that brought pain and suffering into human life, because pain is thought to be inevitable, and the new metaphysics is better than the old philosophy of life? The old interpretation of life was hard put to explain why this good man suffered and that bad man went free. Be he good or bad, he will suffer so long as his thought is wrong. So let us realize that there is release from ills of flesh, because flesh is only the manifestation of our thought. The body is not helpless and heir to pain and fear and grief. Spirit is not bound, save by the tangled threads of thought. Let us think and know the truth which makes us free. Perfect God, perfect man, perfect body. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Jesus was in body and in mind and in character. Realization. I am conscious of my at-one-ment of nature with the Father. I know that God is all and that there is none other but He, since He is all and yet I am therefore. I and my Father are one. Since we are one, I share His nature and resources. All that the Father hath is mine. My soul thrills with the wonder of it. My thought enlarges. I pass into deep experiences of joy in the revelation that is mine. I can because God can. I know because I am instructed by Him who knows. I cannot fail because God faileth not, neither is He weary. I wait on the Lord that He may renew my strength. I trust in the Lord, and I am therefore as Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abideth forever. Now take time to meditate on the wonderful powers and possibilities open to you. Your resources cannot fail. Failure is due to the fact that you have not drawn upon God. Take what you will, ask and ye shall receive. Then meditate on the fact that as you share the nature of God, there is no mind in the universe greater than the mind in you. Why then should you cringe before the opinions of men? Why should you walk in fear or criticism, tradition or prejudice of others? I form my own opinions. I make my own judgments. I set my own standards. I am a man. I am a master of life. I do not try to tell others how they must go. By my life I show them how they may go. I am glad for this new freedom of consciousness. I am glad that I share the nature of God, for this means that I am eternal. I am indivisible from the Father. I am truth. I am life. I am wisdom in my inner being. The inner man is perfect, and day by day I shall now show forth this perfection in my acts and thoughts. I am a child of the living God, and I am glad.